Absolutely. It's a very grim search, Mark.
It is indeed, and 25 Investigates continues our team coverage now. We have been digging for answers in this case since December, working to understand how Harmony's disappearance went unreported for 2 years, how this little girl fell off the radar of agencies in 2 states. Harmony Montgomery spent much of her young life in and out of Massachusetts foster care. Her mother, Crystal Sorey, struggled with addiction and permanently lost custody of her in 2018. In February 2019, a Massachusetts family court judge gave custody of Harmony to her father, Adam Montgomery, a man with a long criminal history. 25 Investigates was first to report Harmony was sent to New Hampshire without an ICPC, or interstate compact for the placement of children, that would have ensured safeguards to be in place to check in on her. As we reported in January, Manchester Police and New Hampshire's Child Protective Services visited the family's Manchester home to investigate claims Adam gave Harmony a black eye months before she disappeared. Harmony's mother claims she last saw her on a FaceTime call with Adam Easter 2019. Manchester police believe Harmony was last seen in early December 2019 when her family was living out of 2 cars. The Massachusetts Office of the Child Advocate issued a report in May stating state agencies failed Harmony by prioritizing the rights of her parents over the little girl's medical needs and her safety. And both Massachusetts and New Hampshire have called for systemic changes based on this case to prevent children from falling off the radar in the future. We're working to learn more about what led police in Manchester to that apartment today for this search. And reminder, Manchester police have set up that 24-hour tip line for any information in Harmony's disappearance. They tell me they have received 800 tips right now. That number is on your screen, 603-203-6060. And a reminder, the reward in this case has topped $150,000.